Hey everyone, this is Stephen Strawn at the Cast Iron Connection, where you can find cast iron cooking, collecting, restoration, and education. I just want to take a minute and just kind of share a little bit with you on how I got my start with cast iron, what really prompted me to get started collecting. I've been collecting cast iron for about 3 years. I started 3 years ago about this time in August of 2015. So what really got me started was I really wasn't interested in cast iron. I didn't think much of it. I thought it was just one of them things that people talked about. Didn't really make a hill of beans to me. But I decided to start cooking a little bit. And I'm not a chef. I don't know much about cooking. You know, I do good not to burn the kitchen down. I've always heard that a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I think it's a way to a lot of people's heart. And it's a way from somebody's heart to do something out of love for somebody. I've always heard if you want to make friends with somebody, cook them something. Now, if you're a bad cook, it may not do you any good. But try to cook something for somebody. Or if you can't cook at all, take them out to eat, you know. But that was my thing. I wanted to be able to cook something. I remember my grandmother, she used to make biscuits in a bowl. She would take this bowl and she would have the bowl full of flour. She wouldn't roll them out on the table. She would just have this bowl full of flour and she would press her out a little well like a bowl inside of a bowl. Then she would mix up her biscuits in that bowl and cook it. And me and my wife, when we first got married back in '84, around that time, maybe '85, there was a little guy peddling cast iron. He was selling cast iron from Birmingham Stove and Range, while actually Birmingham Stove and Range was still hanging in there. They went out of business in the mid-'80s, I believe. So this guy come by, we was at a service station with some people that we knew, and he was in his truck peddling cast iron, and he brought out this big number 14 cast iron skillet. Said, we got these skillets, I got this skillet for sale if you want them, $5 a piece. This was a number 14, which I didn't know. I just seen it and thought, you know, I really like homemade pizza. So I thought this will be the thing to cook a homemade pizza in. So I said, let's get one. I said, let's get two. She said, no, we don't need but one. So we got the skillet. We made a couple of pizzas in it over the years and just forgot about it. So going back to the story with my grandmother cooking these biscuits, and they were just, my grandmother's, that's the way she loved people. She would cook out of love. She would give her love by cooking. And I remember that to this day, my grandmother trying to teach me how to make biscuits. So I thought, that's the very thing I want to do. I want to make some homemade biscuits. I want to learn how to make them. So I started trying to make biscuits. And this was about 3 years ago, before the cast iron frenzy started. So I got my big number 14 out and I tried to make some biscuits. And you know, they turned out pretty good. So I made them again, and they turned out really good. And I got better at it. Every time I was making them in the cast iron skillet. And we had a men's fellowship breakfast one morning, and we thought, well, hey, I'll make some biscuits. Count me up for making the biscuits. Everybody was saying, man, those cast iron skillets make everything taste good. And I go, huh? And I thought, hey, this might be something. So I got interested in cooking in cast iron. That really started me on the love for cast iron. So I thought, hey, this is something I really like. So I started buying cast iron. I paid too much for it. I get crusty pieces that were just horrible. I paid $15, $20 for them. So because I was so glad to get a piece of cast iron. And I'd carry it home and it would be horrible. I had to clean that thing. Talking about cleaning, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was taking those things, I was scrubbing them, I was basically taking my shop tools to it. I was, you know, taking things like putty knives and I was scraping, and I was taking knives and sandpaper, wheel brushes. I'm so sorry, I burned a few pieces with wheel brushes. I got on there and just probably destroyed some pieces. You know, thankfully it was in the early days and I didn't have a lot of invested in it. And there's a way to restore cast iron without destroying it. But I became in love with cast iron. And I wound up probably owning about 200 pieces in about a year and a half. So there you go. That's my story of cast iron, how I got started collecting. But it's really worth the while, and it's a lot of fun. So I hope you've enjoyed my little bit of rant and raving about how I love cast iron. So here it is, I'm going on 3 years and decided to start a YouTube channel. I already had a YouTube channel that was quite a few years old. I just had open just because that's what I did. I wasn't really a channel person. I just wanted to be able to put some videos on there, my guitar and my music, and just kind of have it on there for, maybe one day somebody might like it. But I have recently started a YouTube channel, so my journey is kind of rough. Right now I'm filming on my Galaxy Note 5, which is 3 generations back on the cell phones. It's pretty rough. The audio's pretty rough. Everything's a little bit shaky. The lighting is not very good. So I'm hoping to get better as I go. So if you have any tips or ideas to kind of help me along, I'd appreciate it. Or if you have any questions about the cast iron or my channel, don't be afraid to ask. I'll do my best to answer those questions. For you who love cast iron, I'm with you. I know exactly how you feel, because I love this stuff too. But cast iron, it has a lasting value. That is what I really love about cast iron. And it makes the food taste awesome. And you're gonna get burned every now and then. That's just part of the cast iron. That's just part of the cast iron lifestyle, I guess you'd say. So I hope you enjoy my videos. And if you do, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, share it if you would like. So please just go with me on my journey as my YouTube progresses on this journey of the cast iron connection, where I'm going to do, like I said before, I'm going to be doing cast iron cooking, cast iron collecting, cast iron restoration, and also cast iron education. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for you that have subscribed to my channel. And let's go on this journey together. Thanks.